Okay, guys, welcome back. Uh, may I know the names of the students who are looking for MBA admissions? Just say your name and you're from which place. I would like to understand how many are actively listening to my webinar. Please.
You can unmute yourself and you can talk to
Yes.
Dr. Sanjay. You are allowed. You can
Yeah.
unmute yourself, please.
I request all the participants, feel free to talk. You can ask me questions in between. Tausif, you're there?
Yes, I'm there, sir.
Okay. How many admission seekers are there in this group?
I need to check, sir.
Okay, no problem. Okay, guys, I'm going to start the session now. What we are going to learn today evening, there are 5 things what you should do during your MBA. We will talk about how you brush up your communication skills, how you develop your teamwork skills, and how you build your subject knowledge, develop corporate awareness, and select internships carefully. Main objective of webinar is must do all these 5 things during your 2 years of MBA. This will definitely make you a bright student in the next 2 years, right? Okay, let me take you to the next slide. It is about communication skills. Can anyone in the group answer what is communication according to you? What is communication? Anyone can answer. Feel free, guys, don't hesitate. What is communication? You can define in your own words.
So, one person sending or giving his text to another person.
One person giving
His message to another person. That is communication.
Okay, very good, very good. What will be the form of messages?
So, like formal, informal.
Yeah, formal and informal, very good.
Yeah.
Yeah, anyone would like to add?
And
Good, Nihal?
internet, email.
Yeah,
Kind of.
very good, very good. Ashish, you want to add any point? Those who want to talk, please unmute and you can talk. If you don't want to say anything, just mute your audio. Okay. Ashish, you're trying to say something? Or I request you to mute your audio. Very good, Nihal. Communication skills is all about exchanging your information. Now, how you exchange your information? Generally, you exchange your information by speaking or by sending mails or by writing, right? So what is the first skill you should have? There are so many communication skills. There are more than 10 plus communication skills you have to focus upon. But from MBA point of view, I'm just focusing upon only 4 skills. So in that, the first skill comes is speaking skills. Now, speaking skills are very, very important. Now, I take a lot of interviews over phone. I ask many of the students, why you want to come to Bangalore and you want to do an MBA? The first and the most answers students give is they want to improve their communication skills. They want to improve their speaking skills. Now, what they claim is if they are studying in their hometown or if they are just staying in their hometown, they are unable to pick up their communication skills, especially language skills. So your speaking skills are very, very important. Now, how you can improve your speaking skills? The first and the most important thing is you should participate in the class. Probably you might be participating in your school days or graduation days, but the most important thing to improve your communication skills or especially speaking skills, you should participate in the class. Whenever a faculty asks a question or whenever any debate or elocution competitions are happening, please do participate. That's how you will improve your language skills or speaking skills, right? If you say if language is the road, then communication is your car, so you can take whichever path you want. But I personally suggest many of the students who want to learn languages, I recommend only to learn one regional language. Let us say you want to make a career in Karnataka or Bangalore. I recommend everyone to learn Kannada. Wherever you want to make a career, please try to learn one regional language apart from your mother tongue. And besides, you also brush up your language skills. Keep on interacting with your faculty members, with your students, with your friends, with your colleagues, with your friends of other schools, interacting with. And uh, universities or colleges will provide you a lot of other platforms like cultural activities or debate competitions, or you get a lot of management fest competitions. So you should keep on participating. By in this process you will improve your speaking skills. The only way, and I'm telling you, it's very easy. People believe that, especially people from rural background or semi-urban background, they think that they are poor in communication skills. Their language skills are very poor. I tell you, the major reason why people think that they don't have good communication skills, they are very poor in communication skills, is we don't have the knowledge in that particular subject area. Now, today, if you ask me to talk about rocket science, I don't know much about rocket science. So I cannot speak much about rocket science. So the most important thing is, if you have a knowledge, if you have a thorough understanding of a particular subject, you can confidently speak. Yes, I understand English is not a mother tongue, but still, as Nihal was telling about, conveying your expressions or conveying your feelings to one person to the other. In corporate world or in industry, we say exchange of information. End of the day, you have to communicate to your boss, you have to communicate to your customer, you have to communicate to the employees within the organization. If your communication skills, especially your speaking skills, the way you talk to your boss, the way you talk to your subordinates, the way you talk to your customer, right? So these things are very critical. So all these things you have to practice in these 2 years. Please take your 2 years of MBA course as a laboratory and use this laboratory to do lot of experiments. Please chalk down your strengths and weakness before joining and identify the areas of weaknesses where you can improve upon. Like, people have the stage fear. Why you have a stage fear? Because you cannot speak on a particular topic, right? You are a little bit shy, you won't participate in the class. So that's what I personally recommend students. You can improve your speaking skills, you can improve your language skills by interacting with the faculty when asked any question, and also interact with your friends. Please don't restrict yourself with only few friends within the class or within the section. Please try to interact. Networking is very important, and you can build your networking by communicating and especially talking to a lot of students across you. So speaking is very important, especially if you want to make a career in HR or marketing. Definitely the mode of communication is you have to talk to the customer over a phone, or maybe you have to meet the customer in person. So speaking is very important, and you have to be very effective. And another most important thing of speaking these days is, people don't believe in long lectures. They want very crisp and clear information, crystal clear information. So there is a concept called KISS, keep it short and simple. So this is very important to improve your speaking skills, right? How you practice it? Again, I'm telling you, somewhere you have to begin. Please interact in the class. When teacher asks any question, or when there is any group discussions are happening, or when there is a debate happening, that's how you have to practice your speaking skills, right? Okay. Now, generally people think communication means it's only speaking and only talking and talking. No, apart from good speaking skills, the person should be a very good listener. The biggest problem, most of the conflicts happen in your personal life or maybe at your workplace because of poor listening skills. Now, people jump to conclusions before the other person completes their particular statement. Now, here you may not have any problem during your MBA days, but tomorrow, if you are a very bad listener, and before your boss makes a statement, completes a statement, and if you jump to a conclusion and answer him back, there will be a problem. So always you should be a very good listener. Try to understand what the other person is trying to convey. If you're not good in listening skills, you will get into lot of troubles. It may lead to lot of conflicts, right? Yeah. And the next topic is writing. Now, why writing is very important? One of my MBA students in 2 years back, one of my MBA students asked me, Sanjay sir, why you are rounding off the spelling mistakes? This is not an MA English class. Why you are deducting? I didn't deduct marks, but I strike it off. I put round off. Honestly telling you, sometimes few students, I'm not saying majority of the students, some students may struggle in small spellings, there or there. They don't know the difference between there are or there are, right? And few students may not be knowing some spellings of enterprise, competition, right? Now, why writing is important? Though we teachers don't deduct marks for spelling mistakes, but the problem what happens is tomorrow you will join an organization, and tomorrow your client or maybe your boss will ask you to send a report of your performance or whatever your day-to-day activities. If you are writing, if you don't write properly to your customer, and if you make a lot of mistakes, of course you can say, sir, spell check is there and all those things, but still you can see a lot of errors coming in the emails. I'll give you one small example. In one of my corporates, I don't want to name the company, one of the bosses is writing a thanking mail to one of the government bodies. He has written in the last sentences is thank you for your corporation. What should be the word? What should be the correct word?
Cooperation.
Cooperation. It's supposed to be thank you for your kind cooperation. Now, why writing is very important? Tomorrow you have to send an official communication to your customers or to your bosses or to your colleagues through emails. And these days, even you have official WhatsApp groups. So even still we do a lot of mistakes in writing certain words. So writing is very important. I'm not saying that you should write legibly or you should maintain, you have to improve your good handwriting skills. Not. You have to write legibly, but ensure that it is readable and you're writing it without any mistakes. Understand your writing skills will also speak about your thought process. It talks about your logical presentation. Now, as I was telling you, in one of the speaking skills, you have to be very short and crisp. A question is 15 marks, a question is 1 mark, a question is 2 marks. You can able to write it depending, irrespective of whatever the marks has been assigned for that. Similarly, in this communication world, writing is very important. People, I don't know, I generally don't prefer to write lengthy emails because these days nobody has so much of time to read it. So please focus on your writing skills, especially whenever you are submitting your assignments. Forget about handwritten, even soft copy submissions. Nobody is checking the spell check. You're not doing the spell check. People are not doing proper alignment. They are not providing proper space. So all these things you have to be very careful. Tomorrow, what happens if you write an email to your customer and if they find any grammatical mistake or any typo error, they don't blame you. They don't blame you. You are okay, but the credibility of your organization will be at the stake. Tomorrow you join a next organization, you send a proposal to the client, and there is full of mistakes in that particular mail. Probably they say, what kind of people this particular X company is hiring? So your credibility of the organization will be at the stake. So you have to be very good in writing, especially whenever you are writing an assignments or writing your midterm exams or end-term exams. And please ensure that you have to work on your writing skills, right? Can anyone guess this? What is this image is talking about? As I discussed in the beginning, I am focusing on 4 communication skills. One is speaking, second one is listening, third one is writing. Can anyone guess what is this particular picture is talking about? Anyone? Take a guess.
Working,
Shubham.
networking,
Networking. Okay.
Body.
Go on. Go on. The 4th communication skill I want to focus upon is body language. A body language is very important. There is a thin difference between confidence and overconfidence and arrogant and intelligent. Sometimes you don't communicate. Sometimes you don't say anything. With your body language itself, you say a lot. So you have to be very careful about your body language. Body language is a huge subject, is a big subject, but understand how to behave, where to behave. You don't behave the way you behave at your home. You have certain body language, you have certain communication skills, the way you speak at home, the way you put your body language, you don't show it up in your workstation or office or at school or at college or at your friends. So your body language is very, very important. Now we teachers quickly understand whether you are a passive listener, whether you're an active listener with your body language. So please do carry your positive body language. Positive body language doesn't mean that you should be always smiling, cheerful, right? You should be very pleasant in appearance. That's where we talk about your business etiquettes, like your dressing sense. So all these things will give you a lot of confidence. So it's a big sign. So you have to be very careful about your body language. Never show your arrogance, never show your attitudes, right? Carefree kind of an attitude, sab chalta hai, everything is fine kind. So people will be watching you. Even your bosses will be watching you at workplace, even though you don't say anything. They see your body language, how you're talking to others, how you're talking with your colleagues, how you're talking to your boss, right from your hands and leg and your eye contact, everything is observed. So use these 2 years to try to overcome certain uh, weaknesses where you think you can improve upon, like your speaking or your writing or listening or your body language. Most of the colleges have these personality development classes, so please utilize these personality development or learning and development classes thoroughly. That really helps you out. And only request is, nobody can change you unless and until you want to change yourself. Unless and until you don't come forward, you don't discuss about your weaknesses, and you don't discuss how to overcome that. So that will really help you out. And understand, you need not to look out for outside how to improve my communication skills or how to improve my writing or listening skills. You will find your role models within your class. Observe your friends. One of your friends is very good in speaking. Try to interact with that particular friend so that your speaking skills will increase. Some people, you find a lot of patience, they listen to you very patiently. Understand, pick up that particular good qualities from others. Some of your students are very good in writing. Interact with those people, how to improve your writing skills. Similarly, body language. So you need not to look at YouTube channels, or you need not look at your celebrities, how to improve my communication skills or how to improve my body language or writing or speaking skills. You find the best role models within your class. I understand, everybody have their own weaknesses, but you will be more successful in your life if you see the positive side of the person. People who are good at, please try to, I'm not saying you should copy them, try to adopt to your abilities. In either it is communication, either it is body language, or either it is writing or listening skills, right? These all things come by practice. If you do not practice it over a period of time, you cannot get that. So no, some students will say, sir, we have time, no, after we join an organization we learn. No. Problem is, the habits whatever you are carrying, the next 2 years you carry the same to workplace. And if you are carrying the same bad habits, I will say, or I can say the habits what corporates are looking at, if you're not developing those skills now, companies don't give you time to improve upon. There are employees I have seen in my career, because I got 10 years of sales experience. People are fired because of wrong attitude. People are fired because of their poor interpersonal skills. So that is very important. So what we covered so far, can anyone recall what we discussed so far under communication skills? What are the 4 skills you should improve upon? What is
Listening
the
skills, writing skills,
Yeah, Kunal. Speaking,
listening skills,
listening
body language.
skills, body language, and writing skills. So these are the 4 communication skills. There are many skills I'm telling you, like, people talk about problem solving ability and all those things. So personally, I want to restrict only to these 4 skills, like your speaking, listening, writing, and body language. So far, so good. Anyone have any doubts, or anyone want to add any point here? Or shall I proceed?
Sir, there's one question which has come up on chat.
Yeah.
How to explain a complicated technical problem to a colleague or boss with less technical understanding about certain topic?
Okay. Whether you have less technical knowledge, or whether the boss will have less technical knowledge. Generally, if he is your boss, means definitely you'll have better technical knowledge and theoretical knowledge. But if you're unable to explain the problem of the customer, let us say if customer has a problem or you yourself has a problem, rather than writing an email directly, because don't make it official through email, personally discuss with your boss. If it is a customer and you are unable to explain your customer's problem to your boss, you request your customer to write an email. Okay, so that you are minimizing the miscommunication between the customer and the company. If there is a problem from the external customer, he may be a vendor, he may be a customer, ask him to drop an email, forward that email to your boss and ask him, sir, I would like to understand the problem, or this is the problem, sir, what we can do. Or if the problem is only with him and if he has the problem, instead of writing an email to the boss, I personally suggest to go and talk to the person personally, talk about the problem personally. If the boss able to understand the problem, then that's fine. Probably you have to take his help in understanding the problem. The problem what you think may not be translated exactly to the other person. So it is always better to talk with the people in person rather than writing an emails. I hope this explanation suffice, or is there any other doubt?
So that's all from you.
Yeah, and adding to your point, even in statistics, generally what happens, a lot of these market research reports, they put lot of numbers in their reports. That's where the management student has to be very, very sensible in picking up all the basic concepts. If there is a number, you should able to decode what is that number is talking about. If I am saying 10% increase in advertising lead to 5% increase in sales, now it is purely technical or number oriented. So the only way is once you master your work, as the student is asking the question, if you have a thorough knowledge about your company, if you have a thorough knowledge about your products and services, definitely there won't be any problem. But still, if you have any doubt, don't jump to the conclusions. And that's what I said, you should have good listening skills. Without jumping to the conclusions, understand the problem in your own way or take the help of the experts. That's how you can overcome the communication barrier. But even you are doubtful of 1% that you are not sure, just say to the person, I'll get back to you on this. Don't say I'm 100% sure. If you are sure, sure. If you are not sure, just say I'm not sure, I'll get back to you. Even if it is asked by your boss, even if it is asked by your colleagues, even if it is asked by your customers. End of the day, what happens if you are giving false information or if you are giving half knowledge information to your customers or vendors or within the people, your credibility is at stake. So people won't believe you. So you have to be very, very careful. If it is highly technical, take the help. That's where we are leading to the next topic we talk about is developing the teamwork skills. See, nobody is mastered in everything. That's where we are working. You have to work in teams. Why is it very important? What is the main quality of a team member? How can you say that you are a good team member or you are not a good team member? Can anyone answer this? Okay, I'll put across the question in another way. Is it easy to work individually or is it easy to work in a team? Anyone would like to answer this?
Team.
It is easy to work in team, Nihal?
Yes, sir.
Why you think so? I say that working as an individual is easy than working in teams. I say working in teams is suffering.
So, but the workload can be split, no, sir. It can be split like half of the work can be done by the team members. While we are doing in an individual, the whole work should be done by us. So the teamwork is must be required.
Okay, teamwork, working in teams is easy than working in individual, right?
Individual.
Right. Okay,
But
you have done any group assignments in your graduation days?
yes, sir.
You have done individual assignments?
Yes, sir.
Which is easy for you?
As
Be
a
frank.
individual, like we can take our own decisions,
Yeah.
but as a team, we can split the work. Like it can be completed very quick as soon as possible.
That's right. That's right. That's why an MBA program give you individual assignments as well as group assignments. Why? Because it is always difficult to deal with people. It's easy to deal with machines, but it is always difficult to deal with people. So to have that group dynamics, to have that group synergy, we give lot of group assignments, we conduct lot of group activities. Now, what is one quality a team member should have, or how this quality of a team member will make you a leader? What is the quality you should have to be a good team player that leads to be a good leader in the future? Can anyone?
Motivating
The main quality, yeah, Nihal.
that motivating the team members can lead us to be
Yeah, agreed. That's the quality of a leader. He should motivate the team. But before you become a leader, what is that quality you should have as a team member?
experience.
Not experience.
Sir, participating in work.
Yashwant Reddy.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Participating in work.
Participation, yes, you have to be an active participant. That's good. But what is the other main quality? The main quality of a good team member should be a trustworthy person. This is the basic quality. Whenever you're working in a group, you should be a trustworthy person. The person has to be trustworthy. If you are trustworthy, people can rely on you. And whatever commitments, whatever job assigned to you, if you are delivering on time, you will be a good team player. That's how you become a team leader. See, generally what happens in MBA program, everybody is not good in everything. Probably you might have heard about this rabbit and tortoise story, right? In your school days, tortoise and rabbit want to have a race. Who wins the race in the first time? Who wins the race? Who won the race?
Rabbit,
Tortoise.
sir.
Tortoise and rabbit. One day they decided to have a race. Who won the race first time?
Tortoise.
Rabbit.
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 Tortoise, rabbit or tortoise?
Rabbit.
Okay, the rabbit won the race. What is the moral of the story in the first lesson? What is the moral of the story?
You should be confident rather than being overconfident.
Speed and consistency leads to success or wins the race. You should be very speed, you should be very accurate, or you should be very consistent, right? Now you know the moral of the story too, right? Now this time what happens? Rabbit relaxes. Who wins the race?
Tortoise.
Tortoise race. What is the moral of the story?
Slow and steady win the race.
Slow and steady wins the race.
The race.
Now there is a third story to it. There is a chapter 3 for the story. Anyone knows the story? Third chapter 3 of this. This time tortoise and rabbit wanted to have a race together. So what they decide is, initially rabbit will carry the tortoise till the lake. There is a lake now in the scene. Now there is a lake. You have to cross the lake. That's the condition. Then from the lake to the other shore, tortoise takes the rabbit. So teamwork succeeds. Now why I am saying teamwork means everybody, as I said, everybody is not good in everything. You are good in marketing. So you are good in doing assignments in marketing, and maybe you may love the particular subject or topic. So automatically you will lead the particular assignment. You may not be that good in accounting. You may not be that good in statistics, or you're not in good in number work. Some of your friends, some of your team members may be good in it. So depending on the situation, depending on your strengths and weakness, no harm to be a team member, no harm to be a leading, right? You know, depending on the role, depending on the situation, as I said, you have your own core abilities, you have your own strengths. Whenever you don't find that particular strength in you, there is no problem in taking help, and there is no problem in working as a team. Some may be good in making a PowerPoint presentation. Some may be very good in giving a presentation on the dais. Some may be very good in capturing the content from the internet. Some may be good in editing that particular content. So that's how you have to be a very good team player. Here, your communication skills, your interpersonal skills. Somebody was talking about networking. This really helps. And I'm telling you guys, working in groups is a misery. Working in groups is a problem in MBA. I'm not just telling an ordinary or colleges. Even in IIMs, ISBs, team members will fight with each other. Because I worked in International Exposure B School, students will come and ask, Sanjay sir, you please put me in a good group. Nobody is taking me in any group. Now understand why why few students are not acceptable by the entire class and why few students are very much acceptable to everyone. You know, it happened in my past experience. One student comes and tell me, sir, I don't know anyone in the class. I shifted my section. I have moved from one place to other place. So I don't know anyone in the class. I cannot form a group. Put me in the good group. So generally we put a deadline and we say, if you are not joined the group, we will put randomly. Whenever I put one particular student in a particular group, one particular group comes and says, sir, we are 4-member team. We need one more person. Whenever we want to put this particular person, the 4-member will say, sir, except this person, we are happy with everyone. Any other person is okay. And there is vice versa also happens. Everybody want to ask this one particular person to be in the group. The person is more in demand. Hey, you join my group means you join my group. There are two different types of students in the class itself having this. I'm not telling this problem happens only in affiliated colleges. It happens in even IITs, IIMs and ISBs also. That's why you have to work in teams. Now, why I'm telling you is, even sometimes people complain about the team. Sir, I didn't got the good team, sir. That particular team is good. Generally, we teachers give choice to form the groups on your own. If you're unable to form the groups on your own, we make the groups. Now, tomorrow you join an organization. Now, how it is reflecting in your corporate? Tomorrow you join an organization. Really, you are a great performer as an individual, and your boss will make you a team leader. Tomorrow, when you make a team leader, individually you are a great performer. But if you are unable to make your team perform, then what happens? You will complain, sir, my team is bad. You didn't give me a good team. That's why I'm not performing. Okay, your boss will listen to you. He will give you another team. Second time also you have a problem. You're not performing. Second time also, will you go and complain that my team is bad? What happens if you keep on complaining about your team? Boss will say that, I think you don't have a leadership qualities. You don't know how to manage a team. Better we need a good team leader rather than you. So never ever complain about your team, and whatever the differences is happening, you should keep that within your team. That's where we call it as team integrity. Now we say this to MBA students. Sometimes you may think, you know, why is that so big deal? No, these kind of problem solving abilities within the group, making everyone to perform within the group, right? Some students may be very, very passive. They just want to have a free ride. You do the entire work. He will get the credit or he will get the marks. But understand, if you are making them to perform, it will develop your leadership qualities. This will reflect in your organization performance. Tomorrow you have a better chances to lead a team, or you may become a branch head in the future. So understand, in real world, you will be given limited resources and you have to manage it with limited resources. You cannot complain every time, right? So this is where you have to improve your teamwork. Yes, individually everybody can be a great performer. Sometimes you have to slow down, sometimes you have to speed up depending on the team dynamics. So your interpersonal skills, that's where your communication, your listening, right, your team building exercises, all these things will help you to make you a better team player. If you are a good team player, there is a chance of you emerging as a good team leader, right? Okay, now I'm just moving to the next point. This is very, very important. Some people will say, some people will really be attracted because of their communication skills. Wow, their English is great. You are really attracted, and they are very good in interpersonal skills. They get their things done. They are a very good team player. But if you don't have subject knowledge, you cannot survive for a longer time. Maybe with your appearance, maybe with your great communication skills, sometimes, you know, companies may hire you because of your communication skills, because companies have confidence that if I train you properly, definitely you will get succeeded. But the most important thing, this is called a hard skill. You know, your communication skills, your teamwork ability, these are all soft skills. Now subject knowledge is your hard skill. You cannot manage the show with your just communication skills. You should have a thorough subject knowledge, especially if you are taking electives like operations or finance or any kind of electives where there is a number crunching or number work is involved. You have to be very, very thorough with all your basic subject knowledge. Don't think that you are very good in English, polished English, hi-fi English, American accent, and you know you are a very good team player, easy approachable, mingle with people easily. It won't help you out if you are not good in your subject knowledge. So never ever ignore your subject knowledge. That's what I was telling you in the beginning. You cannot speak on any particular topic because you don't have a knowledge. It is not that your English is poor. So you should have a thorough subject knowledge. You prepare on a particular topic and make a presentation tomorrow in the class. Definitely people will appreciate you. People will appreciate you. I understand we have different accents. My mother tongue is Telugu. I have a different accent in English. Malayalis have a different accent. Bengalis have a different accent. Don't worry about that, because English is not our mother tongue. Understand how you can able to communicate your information to the other person, or the way I wanted to express it, is it delivering or is it carrying to the receiver at the same level or not? That's where you have to work on. That's where you have to work on. Understand, look at your newspaper language, look at your TV news English. They use very simple words. But you can only improve your communication skills, and especially tomorrow you're facing an interview. Definitely your subject knowledge is very, very important. You cannot just manage by just using all your English jargons. And the biggest problem is people will play around with the words. They don't come to the actual definition or actual meaning of the situation. So subject knowledge is very, very important. Whether you take marketing, finance, operations, or technology, or any kind of an elective you take, you should be very, very thorough with your basic subject knowledge. If you don't have subject knowledge, if you think that you can manage with your communication skills, like your writing skills and your communication skills, sorry, you may survive in the corporate world, but you may not survive in the long run, because over a period of time, your own bosses or your own vendors or customers or external or internal customers will definitely come to know what are your capabilities. Okay, so you have to be very, very thorough with your subject knowledge. This is also very, very important. The next one we're talking about is corporate awareness. What do you mean by corporate awareness? Can anyone would like to add any point here, or anyone have any doubts? Ask me now. Okay, what do you mean by corporate awareness? Now, corporate awareness is what happens in an MBA classes. Generally, it is very, very difficult for the teacher to give you market updates. Yes, we do share. I personally share market updates through my WhatsApp status. I update it through my Instagram. I update it through Facebook stories. But one quality, any student in an MBA or going for any MBA program, the most important thing is you have to develop corporate awareness. Corporate awareness means what is happening in the real market, or what is happening in real industry. What is happening? Who are the CEOs? What is happening to particular company? What Amazon is doing? What Reliance is doing? What is the deal between Facebook and Reliance?
Jio.
Yeah, Jio. You should understand all these things. What is AGR? Why telecom companies are paying penalty? So you should be reading any business. Anyone reading any newspaper, any business daily? Anyone in this forum reading business daily regularly? Or even your vernacular business news is also fine. Like, all regional dailies also carry one page on business news. How many of you are reading it? No harm, even if you are reading the business news in your mother tongue, it's okay. But please do read what is happening in the market. Whatever is your area of interest, you can develop your area of interest in one particular industry also. If you are more interested in banking sector, understand what is happening in banking sector. Similarly, automobile industry, similarly in FMCG. So please develop this corporate awareness. If you are not updating your skills, if you don't know what is happening around, then it may not help you that much in especially doing well in interviews. So develop this particular corporate awareness. The most important thing and the most important factor most of the students ignore is internship. Now, why internship is very, very important and critical? Most of the students in an MBA, 80 to 90% students are freshers. Now, what else you write in your resume? You will write only your academic background. If you got some awards or you're the topper, you write not even half page to full page. Your resume is only half page or full page. Maximum full page you can make it out. Adding all your date of birth or coming or languages known, speak, right? But what else the companies can know about you? The most important thing will take you to the interview room is your internship. You cannot claim anything because you don't have work experience. But if you do your internships religiously, if you do your internships wholeheartedly, and you mention you will be doing at least you will be doing 2 internships in 2 years. If you mention half of page of your internships, I challenge you, you definitely get a call letter. And even though the companies will ask you a question that you don't have real-time experience, you don't have experience, you cannot just accept that particular statement. You can say that I agree, sir, I don't have real-time experience, but sir, I have done an internship in so and so industry. I did my internship in so and so company. I know about this particular industry. I know about this particular company. I know markets. I know how to interact with the customers. I know the entire geography of Bangalore if you are working in Bangalore, because you have done field work in Bangalore. Tomorrow, companies may not hire you because you don't have geographic knowledge. So please take your internship seriously. And I'm telling you, if you have done your internship seriously, and if you have taken your internship seriously, definitely that give you a lot of confidence in facing interviews. Now, what is that you will learn? You will develop all the qualities, whatever I mentioned so far. You can develop your skills, you can apply your theoretical skills in real-time market. You will learn, you will understand the real-time markets. You can know the goals. Every company will give you a job description, what you're supposed to do in next 45 days to 60 days. So you know your goals, you will understand your skills, how to talk to a boss, how to talk to a customer, how to talk to your colleagues. So you can work on your skills. You will get the real-time experience, whatever you have learned in first semester or maybe first year. You will get a mentor, in the industry, and you'll also get a mentor as the faculty in the university, and you really gain experience. Now, what I appeal to you everyone is, when you join any MBA program, please take your internship seriously. You should do your internship such a way that your first year project, you should be such a way that the company should offer you the final project. The kind of work, the kind of effort you have put in, the same company should able, I'm not saying that you should continue in the same organization, but you should work in such a way. You may have a choice, you may have an options, but at least they should ask you, hey, your final project, please, you do the final project in your company, we are very much happy. And your final project in your second year should lead to a job offer. Now, whether you accept the offer or not, at secondary, that is okay. But understand how you should do your internship such a way that your experience should get you a better project in the second year. If not better, if you like the company in the first year and you wanted to continue in the second year with the same company, great, based on your electives, and that should lead to a job. There is one student in Presidency University, that fellow got a job in Kurlon. He did his internship first year, second year, he did his internship in one company, and he got the offer in Kurlon, and he posted in his hometown. He's from Kerala. He's working happily in Kerala, staying with parents. I'm telling you guys, please, please, please never ever look for a shortcut for success. Because of this technology, there are the side effects, like, a lot of information is available on the net and people just simply copy and paste, and you really don't know. People, they will ask you, what you learned in your internship, what you learned in your MBA. These are the questions they ask. If your report is a fake, and if you have not done your best efforts, if you didn't put your best efforts in the internship, definitely the guy who is taking your interview will come to know within 5 minutes whether you have done your internship seriously or not. So please take your internship seriously. With this, my topic is over, but before I go to the next slide, if you have any doubts, I'll take it. Otherwise, I'll go to the next slide. Any doubts, guys? Okay, let me take you to the takeaways from the webinar. What we discussed so far, what are your takeaways? Improve your speaking, listening, and writing skills. Now, why I suggest you to learn at least one language in other than mother tongue, there are companies in the university, they prefer the candidates who know the regional language. Tomorrow, if you want to make a career in Bangalore or Chennai or Kerala or Mumbai or Delhi, wherever, of course, if you are placing in North, you can manage with Hindi. But if you want to settle down in South, and Bangalore is the best destination to settle down in the South, uh, the best way is to learn the local language. Tomorrow you get a sales job, or tomorrow you get any other job, especially operations or supply chain management related jobs, a local language is mandatory. The person may be knowing only Kannada. He may not be knowing English or Hindi. So I recommend strongly to learn the regional language wherever you want to settle down in your career. And please improve your speaking, listening and writing skills. Second one is watch out your body language. As I'm telling you, you don't say anything, but you have communicated without saying anything. So you have to be careful about your body language, especially whenever you're talking to your bosses or your faculty or your friends or colleagues or parents, right? So you have to watch out your body language carefully. No harm in taking opinions from the others. Say, is there any wrong in my behavior? Is it hurt? Take opinions from your close friends, understand areas of improvement, interact with your faculty, where is your favorite faculty or the best faculty you find in the college or university. Take their help, have a good mentor, right? Third one is you should be a good team player. So you have to be a good team player to improve your leadership skills. As I said, trustworthiness is very, very important to be a good team player, or you want to be a good leader. You should be thorough with all the basic concepts. I am not saying that you should mug up all the definitions, what is there in the textbook. You understand the definition from the textbook and you can express it in your own words. When you are expressing it in your own words, then it is easy for you to crack the job. Don't mug up. If you mug up the things, then you may be stuck. So please try to understand. Management subjects are not like your physics or chemistry, where the law has to be defined as it is. No, here you can define words in your own way. So that's where it is very, very important to thorough with your basic subject knowledge and improve your corporate awareness. Now, how we are going, I'm not saying you should read a hard copy of newspaper. All these days you can get a lot of apps. You have whichever newspaper you like it, whether it is regional or whether it is English Daily. Download any Business Daily app, news app, and start reading it. Spend some 15 minutes to half an hour, or you start half an hour to 1 hour. That gives you a lot of insights, and sometimes this will help you in understanding your classroom learning also. So I request and I appeal everyone to download one business newspaper app and please start reading it, right? And please take your internship seriously. Why? Because it will definitely improve your chances of getting good campus placements. It's a highly competitive world. Companies will come with only 10 offers and you'll be competing with 600 students. You have to be the best among the other. If you're not the best, probably you have to compromise with the second level, third level kind of a job. Have your dream industry, have your dream job, work towards it. Try to overcome your weaknesses. Don't focus on the weaknesses where you cannot overcome, like stage fear, communication skills, interpersonal skills. Uh, improve your knowledge. Always there is a scope of improvement, and ensure that how you have been improved a lot compared to 10th. You just question yourself how you were in 10th standard, now how we are now in 12th standard, how you are now in degree. Is there any difference? You are the same person. You might have improved a lot, right? You might have overcome a lot of weaknesses. Similarly, the next 2 years are very critical. The next 2 years going to be your last years of your education. Later you will be more worrying about your career, about your life. So please utilize the next coming 2 years if you're really going for an MBA program, and then definitely that will help you to have a successful career in the future. With this, I conclude, and I'm open to take any question and answer. Any questions? I'll take the questions.
Any questions we have?
Any questions, guys? No problem. You can reach me on. You can call me. That's my number. That's my Facebook and LinkedIn. If you have any admissions inquiries, you can just call those numbers. You can call on the landline. Now nobody is working these days. Now you can call on that mobile number. And thank you very much, guys. Thank you, Sony. Thank you, Tausif. Thank you, Dr. Kunal. Thank you for giving me this opportunity. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, sir. That was a really wonderful speech. I'm going to share with the audience few facts about Dr. Sanjay, which not many people know, very few like me who are very close to him and take the liberty of being close to him know that in the morning, whenever people who are in Dr. Sanjay's friend circle get up, they just log on to his status and read the news every day. I am the one who does it. And he is very much precise in saying something about you should know what is going on in the industry. Let me tell you, that's a very, very factful point. And also about communication skills. So I will just wrap up few things what sir has spoken today. So he started with 5 basic things, which includes communication, teamwork, subject knowledge, body language, and knowing about the corporate affairs and as well as the internship part. In communication skills, sir spoke about people coming to Bangalore, they have the language problems and they have to learn the local language. Then they have to participate in class, debate, elocution, all these things which we knew earlier. But what sir made it very clear to us was through the exchange of information we should have in communication skills. We should get away from stage fear. We should build our own network because our network is our net worth. He brought up a concept of 2 years of MBA as a laboratory that people should be into and develop their skills. He came up with a short kiss in the sense, keep it short and simple. Then we moved on to writing skills, where he gave examples of his own earlier career, where he used to strike off students having wrong spelling mistakes. He gave us the example of having the word corporation and cooperation in his own practical life. He spoke about good handwriting, which has to be legitimate because your writing skills also depict your thought process. Then we moved on to body language part, where we heard about how to behave, where to behave, how to be an active and a passive listener, never show arrogance, not being carefree, because nobody can change you unless and until you change yourself. Then he spoke about how to decode the numbers, gave practical examples for that as well. Then we moved on to developing teamwork skills, where he spoke about how you have to become a quality team member, and what is the most important quality of a team member is being trustworthy person. And he gave relevance of 3 chapters of Rabbit and Tortoise story. Let me tell you, the 3rd chapter I came to know for the first time today as well. Thank you, sir, for that. Then he gave us an example of how to be a great team player, which is leading to become a great team leader. Then we moved on to the concept of building subject knowledge, where he gave us a very practical aspect of saying that your subject knowledge is your hard skill and it improves your capabilities. Then we moved on to the next phase, which we talked about corporate awareness, market updates, what is happening around you, and how you can get the update through social media. Then he took us to the practical life of every student, which is the internship, how you can convert your projects into a pre-placement offer. Whether you take it or not, that is secondary. Then finally, we moved on to the 5 golden rules of Dr. Sanjay. I would take it as 5 golden rules of Dr. Sanjay, like 3 laws of Newton, saying that improve your speaking and listening skills and writing skills. Watch out for your body language, be a good team player, should be thorough with basic concepts, improve your corporate awareness by reading business news daily, and take internship seriously. And the most important thing what he spoke about is learn a local language, because learning languages is the best thing a person can do. And thank you very much for that, Dr. Sanjay. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Kunal Saxena. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Kunal. I'm sure with like you, our students are on great hands in their future. And I would like to thank all the participants who have logged in the session and have helped to make it quite interactive and informative. Thank you very much, both of you. And thank you to all. We wind up over here. Thank you.
Thank you, Soni. Thank you.